Well, the life of the Aurora theater shooter is once again in the hands of a jury. Jurors are now deliberating in phase 2 of the sentencing trial.
In this phase, they are deciding whether to sentence James Holmes to life in prison or to continue to phase 3 of the sentencing. But a strange outburst interrupted court today.
He's wrong. His mental illness is everything. I'm the biological mother. She's the surrogate. They took him away from me, and they adopted because they know they had mental illness. Tell you, my family's full of FBI. He's got violence in his blood. He needs help. Don't kill him.
The woman shouted she was his real mother, and she was escorted out of court. She also shouted, as you heard, "Don't kill him." The judge later brought her back into the courtroom, told her she was charged with contempt of court.
She did it in the middle of a closing argument at phase 2 of a sentencing hearing in a death penalty case that started 7 months ago.
That woman was sentenced to 3 weeks in the Arapahoe County Jail. KRDO News Channel 13's Rana Novini has more on today's developments. Rana.
Yeah, despite that outburst, attorneys finished closing arguments in phase 2 today. Even though jurors found Holmes was legally sane at the time of the shooting, they can still decide that his mental illness is enough for him to live. In a decision between life and death, both prosecutors and defense attorneys say James Holmes' mental illness should be a factor.
Is mental illness going to be a shield here to protect someone who we will see had the ability to make a million decisions?
Yeah, he can make decisions, but the decisions he makes are tainted by the mental illness.
Holmes was convicted of killing 12 people and injuring 70 in an Aurora theater 3 years ago. Jurors found he was legally sane. But for a week now, they've heard from defense witnesses, including his parents, describing a normal child and a family history of mental illness.
Mental illness runs through this family, and when James Holmes was born, he got it.
What the defense is trying to do is just get one juror to not go with the death penalty.
Former Judge Victor Reyes says jurors will most certainly weigh Holmes' schizophrenia diagnosis.
Mental illness is something that people can understand.
And even though they found Holmes knew right from wrong when he opened fire, his mental illness could save his life.
Colorado law allows jurors to consider any type of mitigation during a death penalty case. Mental health of the individual is clearly one of those considerations for mitigation.
It's in the hands of a jury now, but if even one juror is not on board with a death sentence, Holmes will spend the rest of his life in prison. And jurors have gone home for the day. They're off tomorrow. They will continue deliberating on Monday morning. Reporting live in studio, Rana Novini, KRDO News Channel 13.
And you can see a timeline of the Aurora theater shooting case and our coverage on the James Holmes trial on KRDO.com.